Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. I'm your host, Andrea Eppy. So happy Friday, everyone. Hello, everyone in the chat. I'm so excited for today's challenge. Thank you guys all so much for joining me. We've got, hey, Cody, Rohit, we've got Ron, Chris, Rosie, Jessica, Ruth, Moat, Avoid. I don't know if that's your real name. Welcome everyone. Cornell, awesome. Lots of familiar faces today. So today is day 4 of our 2-week challenge. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm gonna go ahead and hop on over to Behance. Let's get that pulled up. And if you wanna follow along with me, as always, I'm at behance.net/challenge/XD and we can get started. So of course, go ahead and sign up by clicking this big blue button, and that way each day at 8 a.m. you'll be notified that there is a new challenge and that you should come on back here and check it out. So let's scroll on down and see what today's challenge is. So yesterday we worked on that word counter. That was really fun seeing all of you guys' designs in Discord and on Behance. I already have a bunch pulled up here, so we're gonna look at some of those towards the end of the stream. So thank you so much everyone that shared those. Those were awesome to look at. And today we're gonna be doing a video conferencing app, redoing whatever video conferencing app you have been using. I'm sure probably too much this year since we've been doing a lot of Zoom calls and everything. So we're gonna do it however we want to have a video app. So I want you guys to design the drop-down menu specifically for a video conferencing desktop app. You could do mobile too if you want, but I feel like most people do video conferencing on desktop. So that's what I'm gonna do. And we're gonna use component states, one of my favorite things in XD, to prototype the microphone or video source options. And if you want to grab the starter file, just hit this button, get started, and it will download right there for you. And let's pull up what that looks like. This is the starter file, and I don't include all of the components and everything over here, but you do have the resource booklet down here if you want to hop through that. And that is a component as well, too, component state. So towards the end of this, you'll be able to make your own resource booklet if you wanted. Let me give you a sneak peek of what we're gonna do today, because I know some of you guys like seeing it before we actually do it. So this is our video app. You know, maybe you've got like however many different people that you want to show that are video conferencing. Maybe you got like a chat area over here. And we need to add ways to maybe turn on and off like the video or the chat or the microphone. And this is what we're going to focus on. So these drop downs up here. So you'll see I've already got a hover state. That's one state. We've got the default state is 2. And then we're going to do a drop down state and maybe clicking and choosing a different source. So that is a little preview of what we're going to work on today. But let's hop back to Behance real quick. Of course, every day I'm live at 2 p.m. Pacific. So you can join and just design along with me, or if you just want to relax and listen while you're working on something else, that's fine too. And of course, if you're not already a member of Discord, this is our Discord channel. There's one for, you know, the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge and the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge too. But we've got a bunch of different channels over here. So if you do want feedback on your work, go ahead and put it in this one. And you can just see what everyone else is working on here, get some inspiration. And I'm actually gonna change the music in the background. It's like a little distracting, some of the songs. Okay, so let's get started on our design. Like I mentioned, today we're focusing on component states. So that's gonna be right over here. So we're gonna be using both this panel right here, and we're gonna hop into the prototype tab. Because in order for component states to work, you have to add the different states both here and over there. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing. And I mean, there's lots of examples out there. You can do something like this where you show all the users vertically just by their profile pictures. Thought that was kind of cool. Or, you know, if you want to show like a chat down here. This one's a little busy with all the pop-ups and stuff, but you get the idea. It's a video conferencing app. You've seen them before. Yeah, and then today's tips. So the reason we're focusing on the drop down today is because maybe you've been on a video call and you're like, where's the microphone? I want to turn that off. Or, oh, I can't find the right video or something. Like, I want it to use my nice camera instead of my FaceTime camera. So we're going to try to make it a little bit nicer looking. So just make it large, the drop down large and easy to see. And yeah, so if you want to read through the rest of that, you totally can. So really, for component states, we really only need one artboard. If you want to do more than that, you can, but I am just using, so you come over here to the artboard icon, and I'm just using 1920 by 1080. That's usually what I go for, is that size. And so you can either click and drag, or just tap if you want a new one. So let's get started. Yes, awesome, everyone that's joining in the chat just now. Cool. So usually what I do for desktop designs is I'll just lay it out really quickly, kind of like wireframing, just like kind of low fidelity, like where is everything gonna go, just in boxes. So I know on the right side, I wanna have a chat area. And then here, I'm gonna maybe have my drop downs up here, since that's kind of what we're focusing on. So just like super quick laying these out, just like 2 drop downs right here. I know I wanna have maybe some different like video sources of like whoever's talking. So let's do maybe 4 of those, just kind of like in the center here. And that's the basic layout. That's what I always do. Just get some boxes on there before you start making everything look nice and really getting into all the details of like what font and everything. Get the layout sorted out first. All right, so let's start just at this top row, kind of adding some more details. So here at the top left, let's see, I want to add this little video icon, and then I'll just say like whatever this app is called, so video app. And if anyone has a better idea, let me know. But that's not what I'm focusing on, so I'm just gonna call it video app. Pretty self-explanatory there. So I'll group both of those. Here's where I'll do the drop downs. I'll skip that for now. And then at the right, maybe usually you have different layout options. So if you want like 4 up, or just seeing like one person at a time, something like that. And then I'll group those 2 together and just kind of align that right there. All right, next I will focus on these boxes. So they're kind of boring right now, so let's add just some drop shadows. I'll come over here, add a little drop shadow. It's a little dark. I'll bring it down to like 7%, and I'll bring up the blur to like 11. So it's very soft. I always raise the blur quite a bit for things like the drop shadow. And then I'll give it a little bit of a border, and we can create a clipping mask in here for the actual images of our people. Okay. I'll remove that border and just make it whatever color just temporarily so we can see it. So let's scroll on down here. I just have some random images of people that I already had used for like other projects. So I'm doing Shift Command M to mask that. And these images are from Adobe stock if you want to find the same ones. But feel free to use different ones, obviously. And then I'm just gonna copy and paste. So we can use the same exact styling for that drop shadow and everything. And I'm just gonna cut whatever different images I want and paste them in the same mask there. And this, I think, needs a little rectangle behind it because it doesn't quite fill the whole area. So that's the little trick. If your image doesn't fill the whole clipping mask, that's fine. And we'll delete that. Just copy and paste that down as well. Or you could come up here and use repeat grid too, that would be fine. Let's see, I've got some other images. This lady, she looks so nice. just a friendly smile. Love that. And one more. So we have a nice 4-up grid. And I think this is one, yes. And then we'll just center her right here. Perfect. So it looks like she's talking. That's great. And okay, so that looks good. Maybe at the bottom here, of course, we need some options for turning on and off your video. So let's zoom in a little bit here. So video, what else? Microphone, and maybe turning off chat or something like that. So I'll kind of just center align those. And since we can't really see them too well, I'm just going to add a circle behind each of these. And holding down Shift for that circle. And then I've got some colors already saved up there. So let's send that back a bit. And since I want like these images to, or the video feeds to kind of stand out, I'm going to give those drop shadows, but not like these circles, which is fine. You don't have to give everything a drop shadow in a design. Sometimes just like a few things is fine. And send that back. All right, so that looks good. Let's group all this together. Cool. And then over here, this will be our chat area. I'm not gonna focus too much on this, but let's just add like some text. It'll say like, for attendees, maybe we'll put that there. And the font that I'm using today is Ariana Pro. Let's bring this down a bit. Maybe like a close icon. I think I had a close icon here. Yeah, there we go. Put that right there. And, oops, did I copy and paste that? Copy and paste this text. Maybe this area at the bottom is where you can chat. So it's like, you'll say something or chat or whatever. And I'll just leave kind of a line down here with that line tool and bring the opacity down a bit. And then I think I have some more icons like this one. If you wanted to add an image, that would be nice too. Or an attachment like a document, or maybe just an emoji or smiley face or something. And I'll group those three together, Command G to group. All right, it's looking pretty good so far. All right, so for our drop downs, let's go ahead and work on those. And let me make sure there is no questions in the chat. Jennifer said, drop shadows, don't tell Howard. I guess Howard doesn't like drop shadows that much. I think there's a good way and a bad way to do drop shadows. If you're doing it super harsh, don't do them. But if it's nice and subtle, totally fine. Yeah, let's see. Any more questions? Hey Fabio, hey Chris. Awesome. Okay. Hope you guys are having a nice week. Does anyone have any like nice weekend plans? I think that my husband wants to get some deep dish since we're new to Chicago, so maybe we'll do that after this. But I know they take a while, so we'll see. But it's such a nice day out here in Chicago. Okay, so I'm working on my drop down here. Let's add some text. And I'm just gonna copy and paste this text over here. So these will be the drop downs for our audio source and our video source. And you could put these maybe at the bottom too, kind of hide them a little more if you want, but I'm just gonna keep them up here. Let's center those. Okay, so this one will be audio source. And let's bring up the opacity there so it's very clear. Okay, and then I'll just group all of those together. And actually I'll just copy and paste the same thing so they look exactly the same. And this one will be our video source. There we go. Awesome. Ron said, I really like the modern and minimal flair of this design. Looks great. Thanks, Ron. Jennifer said she plans to stream some detailing of my XD projects for some friends. Super excited. That's awesome. That's so cool. I love just like when everyone does streaming. I love watching live streams myself too. So meta, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and hop into the component states tab over here. So if you've never used a component state before, don't worry, they're super easy. But what we're able to do with this is show a bunch of different states for one single element. So you can do that with any element on here, any shape, whatever. Like this could have, oh, I think where'd my icon go? There we go. These could have like hover states or, you know, pressed versus unpressed. These could have different states, whatever you want. But we're gonna focus on drop downs because they're a little bit easier to understand, I think. So come over here, have your element selected, press that plus icon, and this will give you the default state. So the default state is just where nothing's really happening to our drop down. We just have whatever it is before we interact with it. So that's great. And then if we press it again, it'll ask if we want to do a hover state or a new state. So first I'm just going to do a new state. So this will say open _ FaceTime selected. Maybe FaceTime is one of our source options for video. So what we would do, make sure you don't have default state selected when you're editing one of these different states. So we're gonna have this one selected, and then you have to double click in. So make sure you're double clicked in. That's the problem usually that I find that most people have when they're first starting out with components, is they're not double clicking in. So, and then we're gonna just drag this down and we can add some more text for those video sources. So I'll say like FaceTime source, or FaceTime camera, I guess. Canon camera, if you have different cameras hooked up, like Logitech. I have a Logitech camera. It's a really nice like video camera, but it's actually like too crisp. You know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like the FaceTime camera makes you look better because it's like you don't need to see too up close. That's just me though. Okay, so let's bring this to regular because I want this to kind of be more important. All right, so yeah, that's fine. We'll leave that regular. Maybe I'll bring the font size down a little bit. 12, that's better. And we'll do one more. What's another camera name? Sony camera. Got a lot of cameras hooked up to this one. Okay, cool. So usually also when you have a drop down open, your little arrow will rotate as well. So we'll just turn that upside down. And now we have this opened, and maybe we already have FaceTime selected. So what I want to do is double click in again and have this little area selected. So we will give it sort of a blue background. Let's see, I got a blue already here. I love this blue. I'm really into like that bright blue lately. Okay, so we've got FaceTime camera selected, it's open, and that's great. Maybe we want to have another state selected. So maybe we want the Logitech. So we'll say open _ Logitech. I can't spell today. So for that one, same thing. Make sure you have Logitech selected, not the other state, and double click in, and we can just drag this little selector down, and I'll change all of the text to gray, and again, just change whatever selected text you have to white. Okay, so now we've got that one. And then we can, let's go ahead and hop into the prototype tab and we'll just mock those up real quick. All right, so come into the prototype tab, and what you need to know about component states is you don't have to have a bunch of different artboards. Everything we do with the prototyping for this particular dropdown can all be on one artboard, which is awesome. So come over here to default state and we'll add an interaction. So our first interaction, obviously we just want to do tap. We don't really want to do like drag or anything. We don't want to drag this around. And then we'll do a normal transition, and our destination will be open, and maybe we already have FaceTime selected, so open FaceTime. And I usually leave for the dropdowns, just have animation for none. And then same thing here. Just keep adding interactions for each of these states. So come over here, press the little plus icon, keep the trigger on tap, and a normal transition, and we will send this. Maybe we change it to Logitech. So that'll be great. And then maybe once we're at Logitech, we want to close it again. So from here, tap trigger, normal transition, and we'll bring this back to the default state. So then we've got interactions for each one of those. So let's go ahead and mark this one as our first flow, even though it's really only one artboard, that's fine. And we'll come over here to the preview tab and we can select our video source dropdown. We open it up and we see our little arrow kind of flip-flops. So that's great, that worked. We've got FaceTime camera selected, and maybe we switch it to Logitech camera. And there we go. And then if we close it again, it will close, and there we go. So we've got only one artboard, but 3 separate interactions. And another one, if you wanted to add, is a hover state. So it's already like prototyped, it already will have the hover state interaction for you over there in the other tab. So all you have to do is just say hover state and then come in here, maybe change like this background to blue, maybe bring the opacity down a little bit so we can see the text a little bit better. And always remember, when you're previewing, you have to bring it back to the default state. So let's go ahead and preview that. So now when we hover over it, boom, we got our hover state with our blue selected, and we didn't even have to go into the prototype tab for that specific state. So we can open it up, check Logitech camera, bring it back, and we've still got our hover state. So there we go. So I think that looks pretty nice. If you want to do the audio source drop down too as well, that would be great. Oh, one other thing is, so let's say you have a lot of these different video sources. You've got all of these different elements on a bunch of different artboards. You've got like 50 different artboards. And the awesome thing about component states and components in general is that if you go in and change the color, like you wouldn't want to change it to red obviously, but you change the color for the main one, it will change for all of the rest of those. So that is a really important tip that I use all the time. So if you're wondering if it's the main component or the instance, you just have to look up here in the top left and it'll show you that this little diamond is filled in green versus the instances that will not update the rest of the elements will be not filled in. So just if you're looking for that, just keep an eye out for that filled in green. So yeah, all right, so that is our design. Awesome. Let's go ahead and Command S to save. And if you want to export, just come down to File, Export, and you can export just as a regular PNG if you want, or if you want to export as a video file, just come up here to your preview and you can just hit record and start tapping around, and it will record a little MOV file for you. So you can save that and maybe upload to your Behance case study if you want. Awesome. Okay, make sure if anyone has a question. Ron asked, can the dropdowns list items also be considered components with their own hover state? I suppose it would add too much complexity to the artboard. Okay. I believe you can. I'm not exactly sure what you're asking, but I think you're asking like each of these be like a nested component. So like this could have a hover state as well, in which case, yes, you can. Yes. Can we, yeah, Rohit asks, can you create a state within another state? Yes, component nesting, you can. That was like a relatively new feature. So yeah, great question. Let's go ahead and hop on over to Behance. And now I'm gonna show some of you guys' work from the last few days. So I usually just search the keyword, which is XD Daily Challenge. So if you want me to look at your work and kind of feature it towards the end of the stream, make sure you have that in your project settings. So let's pull some of these up. This is Annie's. Annie does these almost every day. Props to you, Annie. Awesome job. So this is the one from yesterday. We did a little journaling app and we focused on the word counter up here. And I think I maybe missed it. Let's see. This is so cute. You got the keyboard up here typing, super fast typing, but I love the little animation, and you had the numbers kind of rolling through. Great job on that. Awesome. Let's take a look at another one. This is by Elizabeth. And all right. Ooh, okay. That was very quick. Let's take a look. Lovely illustrations at the top there. That was so nice. It's just so satisfying, like the numbers rolling through there. Amazing work. Great job, Elizabeth. Love it. Let's take a look at another one. Ilham. Wait, did I look at this one already? Maybe not. I'm not sure. All right. We got a word processor, the prototype. No, I did not see this one yet. Okay. Sometimes I look at them over on Discord, and then I look at them here too, and I'm not sure where I saw them. Wait, that was so cool, that little auto animate with the processor kind of rolling up. Got the cards. That was cool. Very nice. And we got our numbers rolling down there. Great job. 3-day streak. So cool. This is so fun. I would totally use that word counter. Awesome. And oh, we are about all out of time. All right. Thank you guys all so much for joining, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. But don't go anywhere, because in about 5 minutes, we've got another stream called Office Hours. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys all again on Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific. So have a great weekend. Bye, everyone.